Hello and welcome to the Erin Cruz Show. We have on the line with us Sergeant Major Juan Hidalgo, retired. He actually ran for United States Congress in the 51st District in 2018. He ran an awesome race. He gave the incumbent a complete challenge, made him sweat, and we want to hear what the rest of the campaign was like and the election night event and a little bit about what you're up to now, Juan. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing very well. As I would say, God bless you. God bless America. It's just a minor setback, but we're all well. My team, my family, everyone's in good spirit. So, it's just a process, and we enjoyed it. It's all about service to this country. So there's no time to be down, or no time to have what people call election blues. That's just the way it goes. So we continue to move forward.
Right. Well, the one thing about you, Juan, is you're a born leader, and your community, you've created these bonds and built these relationships. I know over a long period of time, and I don't see that going away anytime soon. As a matter of fact, I see you flourishing in a short time here, at least in your community work. I mean, do you think that you may run again or not? Or do you want to give us just a peek?
Yeah, that's quite a compliment. It is about service to the American people, and we've made a lot of great friends, a lot of good connections, and as I was, there's just been so much outpouring of people calling us, texting us, emailing us, and telling us, hey, we need you in there. We need you to run again. Don't get discouraged. We're not discouraged. But, so that's a good feeling, because we believe that a lot of people still really desire to have some real leadership in Congress, representing the 51st Congressional District. The fact of the matter is they just don't right now. It's still mind-boggling how they would, elect or how it happened that somebody that has done absolutely nothing for 6 years, and at the end of 8 years, it'll be the same thing, I'm sure. Why should he do anything? He doesn't have to. People voted because they say D or R. That's it, and that's wrong. We need to get back to voting the man, not the party. So, your point is that we've made a lot of good friends, a lot of good relationships out in the district, and those remain. We'll stay friends with all of our good friends out there, our good supporters. Matter of fact, my team has been out taking down signs and cleaning up. We're not going to leave a mess. A lot of people don't clean up their stuff. My team has been out picking up our signs, and I was out with them 2 nights ago, and it was dark, and somebody's yelling, Hidalgo! And I look and I wave, and I'm not dressed in a suit at the time. I was just, and they start yelling, hey, we need you, hang in there, we need you to run again. So things like that, encounters like that are amazing. They make us feel like we did the right thing. We'll continue. So we'll see. We're not going to discount. We're not going to count it out. I'll just tell you, you're probably going to hear from me again.
Well, I think no matter what, we'll hear from you again, right? I mean, you're not going anywhere anytime soon. You're embedded in that community. That is your community. That's your home. Your family's there. Your church is there. So many relationships are there. So I know we're going to see you. It's just a matter of what context, right?
That's right.
The interesting... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, the interesting thing is, people may or may not know. I mean, different people have a different level of knowledge about government and how it works. But for those of you who don't know or aren't aware, the people in the United States House of Representatives are go up for re-election every 2 years. And as a matter of fact, this incumbent has been supposedly re-elected and will be brought in. And then he'll start immediately campaigning again. And the funny thing about this is he never campaigned the last 2 years. And I just don't see that he's going to, how can the people of the 51st District be so complacent and just okay with this low unemployment, high unemployment and struggles?
Yeah, I don't think they are. I really don't. I think that they realize that it's a person who has taken them completely and utterly for granted. But with that attitude of taking people for granted, and with the many people have expressed to me that a lot of concern over voter fraud, that seems, and again, that can't be proven right now, but a lot of people are still looking into that, because how can you go and be so arrogant, not campaign, unless you know there's a sure way you're going to win?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's
Even
not because
Hillary campaigned.
Not because, yeah, it's not, yeah.
And she was correct.
Yeah, because it's not because he's a great politician or he's a great leader, because he certainly is not. If that were the case, he'd have something to show for his 6 years, and he has absolutely nothing. So we got to do some work there, because we got to find out what's going on, because, as you know, the Democrats, they just, the thing about us Republicans, we say, hey, okay, we move on. Not them. They don't care how they win, as long as they cheat. However they got to take. If they lose, if we lose, we're supposed to accept it and move on, which we do. If they lose, they find a way to cheat themselves in and steal an election.
Like we're possibly seeing in Florida. I'm not saying we are, but like we possibly have seen in Florida. Now, that brings me to another question then. What, in terms of that voter fraud or potential voter fraud or issues in San Diego, because my understanding is a lot of San Diego, so they're saying, and everything's preliminary at this point for another couple of weeks, but they're saying San Diego went blue in a lot of ways. I just can't see that they would, because it's gone red, and in fact, they've seen some improvement in many cases, and I just don't. With what they did with voting in the new district attorney, that went red. I mean, that went red. So I really have a very difficult time understanding how it is that so many of these candidates or incumbents didn't campaign and just, like you said, got a shoo-in. And what do you think that you might do to go about looking into that? Because, it's a real issue.
Absolutely, we got some good friends, that have been involved in voter integrity and stuff, and they're going to help us look into it, because I mean, it's not if it's happening. We know there's some voter fraud going on, and I'll give you examples. I have good friends in the Imperial Valley, for example, that are Democrats, and they're good friends of mine, and they've told me this is what's going on. This is how they do it. And I said, you got to be kidding me. And they say, no, it's out and open. Everybody knows this is what they do. And one of my good friends was telling me how they do it. I'm like, that's terrible. How are we allowing that to happen? And it's as though nobody knows it's happening. Nobody. Just yesterday, I talked to a good friend, and they had film of buses coming across. This was in Tecate, California, which is part of my district. People coming across the border, voting, and going back. They turned that film into Imperial Valley, and that film got lost somehow. Can you imagine?
Lost?
So yeah, they got lost. They turned it in and said, hey, let's, we got to look into this. And now the film is gone. And I was just told this last night about it. I said, okay. So it happened. There's some things going on. Like I said, we're not going to lay down and just let it happen. We got to continue to look, because if we don't, this will just continue to happen, and they'll just continue to do.
It'll get worse.
Yeah.
They get more and more brazen, right? That's what it seems like to me. Well, we're really glad that you are vocal about, how much you've built in your community, those relationships, and how much they mean to you, because that's where it's at, And we're glad that you're not shuffling away the voter fraud or it could be there. You've heard about it.
It could, yeah.
But there has to be evidence and process and other things. But I'm glad you're open to seeing that might be part of the problem.
It may, and the fact of the matter is we're going to run if we run another race, like I said, my team is on fire right now. My team wants to they're ready to go right now.
They're chomping at the bit. Well, let them.
Well, I've been blessed. I have a remarkable team. I really do. And they are awesome. They're all volunteer, so they're really some phenomenal people. we'll see what happens. Like I said, that's not an excuse. It's just what. But that's not what I'm saying. So I hope nobody thinks that's
No. We
this
weren't
guy,
taking that, but there is a
no,
large concern over California that
absolutely.
some of this could be that, and it could be 1%, it could be
Yeah.
2%, it could be
Okay.
more. We don't know, but
Yeah. I mean, because you just got to ask yourself, how does a society, California, vote in higher taxes? I mean, that's an example.
Mm-hmm.
What were they thinking? Let's vote for higher taxes and pay more at the gas pump. That makes no sense whatsoever. The same people that were complaining when any tax goes up, and rightly so, because we shouldn't be adding taxes. The state still can't tell. Yeah, I'm saying states still can't show where a lot of money goes. Okay, and then they want to. We're talking about 6. It should have been yes on 6, not no, and that was part of the issue as well. Carl Demal did a good job on that. But we got to, that just doesn't make sense, and there's just the people out there pushing for higher tax. They scared people. Oh, the bridges, that's nonsense. The state elected a socialist governor who's going to, says already that he'll make sure that medical is available to illegal aliens. That's just not right. And they also put in a do-nothing politician for another 2 years. It makes you wonder, But we'll fight the good fight. We live to fight another day. We're not worried about it. A lot of great lessons learned, best procedures and things that we've learned. So we'll go forward and we'll see. We got a little time right now. My team definitely needs some. Yeah, my team needs some time off. Yeah. We're not taking a lot of time, but my team needs a little rest. They were working. Everyone was working about. Most of them were working on about 2.5 hours sleep a night for the last 3 weeks at least. So very proud of them. They did great. So we'll see what comes next.
Well, we're excited to hear what comes next, no matter what it is, and we're just glad that you're going to stand up and protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, no matter what California does in going rogue.
Yeah.
And that you're vocal about it, and that you're not afraid to speak your mind. We're very happy about that. Well, how is your? We talk so much about you, the race, the other candidate or the incumbent. We talk about your staff. How's your wife doing? Is she doing well?
Oh, my wife
is she happy to have you home?
Yeah, I'm a very blessed man. I have a very good wife and children, so I'm excited. She knows what this is about. My wife understands my call to service. Because when you're out there on the streets and you're meeting these people, it really is all about the people of the 51st District in California and the United States of America. We have great people out here. So they need someone that will work for them and serve them, and not the other way around, where they think that the American people work for them. So my wife gets that. She spent most of my career in the Marine Corps. She was right there next to me, so she understood that deployments and everything. So I mean, she gets it's kind of her mind is at least she sees me every day. That's not a bad thing. I'm not deployed. I'm not getting shot at. So life is good.
You're out of harm's way, so to speak. Oh, well, she was always by your side every time I would come down or I was in an event and I saw you. She was, very committed to your race and supportive, and we're glad to hear that she's doing well and she's supportive in whatever your next venture is or adventure is, and that she's doing well. Well, Juan, any last words you'd like to say to everybody out there listening today?
Just let's I hear a lot of people talking about hey, what's time to pack up and leave California. It's not. We have to stay and fight.
Absolutely.
If not us, who? If not, this will turn into a complete socialist state. That's what people want. Some of them want, but I think it's a minority. I think that most people are great, God-fearing Americans that love this country, and we got to stay here and fight. People constantly ask me other questions. What are you in this stuff for? Why don't you just retire and have a good, relax and enjoy yourself? I can't. It is a matter of life and death, and I want to fight for this country, fight for the state, fight for this district, and we need help. We can't just do it alone. It's not a one-man fight. We gotta stick it out together. Because if we don't, then these socialists will try to take over. They're going to try to take our guns. They're going to try to take all of our freedoms, tax us to death, and make it miserable. And that's not what this great state is about. You know,
Right.
the left always likes to create a narrative. So that's not what we're at. Well, that's definitely not what we're about. We're
Right.
not a socialist country. It's a free country. It's about it's supposed to be more citizen, less government.
Right.
And if we don't stand up and fight now, what are we going to leave our grandkids and our children? It's time to stand up and fight. And I'm not done fighting because I'm going to continue to work for the American people.
Right. And now I just want to clarify because, you know, we we talk about this all the time, you know, oh, together as an army, we're going to fight. Look, folks, what he means by fight is standing for what is right and what is good and what is proper. And in fact, I lost my earpiece. I want to make sure I can hear you. What is right and good and what is proper, and doing it with communication and by process. We support you 100%, Juan.
Well, thank you. And I'm glad you clarified because everybody just needs to remember and we don't ever need to go to the tactics that the left does.
Absolutely.
Those left-wingers, the things they do, they try to go through actual intimidation and coercion and actually violence. We don't have to do that because we're on the right. That's right. We're on the right side. We actually use our brain, engage, and we have ideas and things that we can do to make it better, and we don't have to resort to bad conduct.
Right.
So I'm glad you reminded everybody.
I wanted to just mention it. You know, I know we talk about that and very fervently, but you know, we've seen in recent, just the last month, where Maxine Waters actually was inciting violence. I mean, she was calling for people to take violent action. So you were talking figuratively. I just wanted to make sure and clarify that because I knew what you meant. Many of the people out there listening knew what you meant, but I just wanted to make sure that those people who maybe don't agree with us or sit on the same side of the field understand what you meant, because we have to be clear. We have to be that clear.
I'm glad. You're absolutely correct, because I would never, ever want to be mistaken to say something like Maxine Waters, because that would mean my IQ would have to drop quite a bit, and that would be terrible.
No, we can't have your IQ dropping at all. And as a matter of fact, if that happened while you're on the phone with me here talking to our listeners, your wife would be quite disappointed. So, I would be in trouble.
I would I would never want to be mixed up with anything. You know, we don't have to resort to that. Maxine Waters and her ilk, they're just terrible. They incite. You know, you had the former Attorney General saying the same thing. When they're low, we can. Come on, that's just ridiculous. You're adults. Act like it, and never, ever should you incite or try to get people to incite violence.
Right. We're a civil society. We need to start acting like
That's
it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, this was Juan Hidalgo. We're going to have to hear what's next, and we're trusting you, Juan. When you figure that out, when you decide, you let us know.
We'll let you guys know when we want to let everybody know. Right now, we'll keep things in-house, if you will.
Yes, absolutely.
But it's always a pleasure to talk to you. God bless you. God bless America. And let's not forget, it's all about Jesus.
Amen. Amen. Well, God bless you, and take care, and tell everyone hi.
Thank you.
To hear more and to learn more on how you can make an impact or about the Erin Cruz Show, visit us online at erincruz.com. That's ERINCRUZ